It is John's cousin Andrew in the stand, in the gas line stand this evening. It is October 17th. So as you can see, I can see the majority of this gas line. And then we planted a food plot here with some clover. And there's just some side-by-side roads that connect everything. I am using a Ravin R10X crossbow, shooting Ravin aluminum broadheads. So that's the setup, and we'll see what happens. I'll keep you informed. That was the first deer of my 2024 archery season. I am straight up struggling with the camera right now. This makes you realize how hard it is to film and try to hunt. I literally binoed that field, didn't see anything. Put my binos down to look back and just see that buck coming up through. I tried to get the camera out in time. I got a piece of him. I don't know how much I got of him, but I don't know if I recognized that buck. I don't think he was a shooter, but I'll have to rewatch and see. I don't know if it was just a real big 4-pointer or it was an 8-point. I couldn't tell if it had brows. But maybe he'll make his way around the pines and get over to me before dark. Anyway, yeah, that was tough. I really tried to get on him, but between having to stand up in the autofocus, I couldn't see. Oh, well, that's how it goes. What's going on, everyone?
It is now October 18th, 2024. It's about 4 p.m. I just got in the stand. I waited a little bit to get in the stand. It's just so dang hot today. And we had a full moon. I think it's going to be close to a full moon again tonight. So probably a lot of daylight, probably 3 hours of daylight left. So I just got in. But it's really warm, but there's not a lot of wind. So we will see what happens. I'm sitting in a different stand. I'm sitting on top of the hill over here watching a couple deer trails that run together. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll keep you updated and let you know if I see anything. Hopefully I get something on film. But one of the good things about this spot is there's a big cornfield behind me, which should offer a good food source and cover for the deer, especially as the year gets later. So hopefully they're starting to move to that from the soybeans, because it seems like the majority of the year they were hitting, or majority of the summer they were just all in soybean fields. So hopefully they're starting to switch, and see what happens. What's going on, everyone? It is Friday, November 1st, day after Halloween, 2:30 p.m. I am up in the stand. Definitely cooled off this past week. It's my first time out since October 18th, so it's been a little bit of a break, but I'll be out the 1st through the 10th. I took off a week of work for this. Little Rutcation action going on. But yeah, I'm super pumped. Finally be back in the stand. And right now in Pennsylvania, you can shoot a bear. I can shoot a doe, a buck, or a bear tonight. And then tomorrow starts fall turkey season in Pennsylvania for 2D. So there's a lot of opportunities today, and we're gonna see how it goes. But I'll show you the surrounding area, which I think I've already done in the past. But here we go. So we have some pine trees for some bedding, clover food plot, more pine trees. I put up a little mock scrape over there. Where is it? I can't see it. Lots of acorns this year. And yeah, loops back around to the gas line. So see what happens tonight. Stay updated. Monday, November 4th. I'm going out for my Monday hunt of Rutcation 2024. I was having some camera malfunctions, aka Johnny gave me the camera that didn't have any battery left. Typical of Johnny at this point. You can probably tell there's a trend happening here. No zoom, bad batteries. He's trying to sabotage my hunts at this point. Hopefully next time I'm filming something, there's some deer walking by, so stay tuned.
was a pretty cool looking buck. I don't know if I've ever saw that one before, but it just came out of those pine trees bedded down. And right before that, I had a little like four point come out, but it was too dark to film, and I didn't have the camera out yet. So that's a good start to the morning.
A fantastic morning of deer movement. I don't even know how many bucks I've seen now. most of them haven't been legal, or some of them have been out of range, but at least 2 or 3 legal ones, I think. So hopefully it continues the rest of the morning. We'll see. It's only about, I don't know, 8:30, 8:45 maybe. So we'll see what keeps going on. That was the buck I wanted, and he came in perfectly, 20 yards broadside. But I noticed that he broke off his left side G3, and I have a personal rule, where I don't shoot bucks that are less points than the one I got previously, or they either have to have more points, and before he broke that off he was a 9 point, or they have to score higher. So he was 9 points before that, and my buck last year was 8. But since he broke it off, he wasn't bigger, so he gets a pass now. But maybe Johnny will show you some of the pictures from trail cam this year. I've had him on trail cam for basically the whole summer, and last time I got him was probably Halloween, or the day before Halloween. So, and he didn't have anything broken off then. So this all happened in the last 3 or 4 days. But that's rough, because I don't know, or at least I've not seen any other bucks that I would shoot outside of him before he broke it. So that's tough, but it's the rut, and I've been seeing bucks today that I hadn't seen before anyway. That one massive one this morning that has like a super long main beam with like no points on it. I don't know if I'd shoot that, but it's pretty neat looking. So yeah, we'll see. There's new bucks coming in and out, so hopefully it keeps going. So yeah, I just sent that snippet, a little snippet from the video to Johnny of that buck, and I didn't even notice that, which is actually embarrassing that I didn't. But his brow tine is completely gone on the one side. On the side that's real funky, he completely just broke off he had like a 5-inch brow tine on that side. He just broke that off too. So now I'm really happy I passed on him, and so that means he's probably only like 7 point now, 2 on one, and he has split brows on the other. So he had 6 on 1 and 3, so now he's probably 2 and 5. But that's wild. So that was a good. Let's send it to Johnny. He saw that, and yeah, Johnny said, maybe the one that busted him up will show up. So that's what I'm gonna hope for now. That there's another buck that really messed him up, and that one might come in. Same one I saw Monday morning. He's putting on some serious distance right now. He came out of the pines, walked down below me after I grunted. I think I startled him a little bit. Probably shouldn't have gave him that grunt since he was already kind of facing towards me. He went the whole way up the gas line, and I kept thinking I was going to see him up above me. And then I was watching those pheasants, and he comes out over there. So that he's going about a half a mile already, walking around in the last 20 minutes. These bucks are really moving right now, trying to find the hot doe. So hopefully that's a good thing, and we'll keep seeing some. Joe the red squirrel just touched my back. And now his friend Frank is over there laughing at me. I'll show you Frank. Frank is he's just howling. He thought that was hilarious that Joe just touched me. And now he's just sitting over there. Look at him. Bite and bark. He's laughing so hard he's biting bark. Yeah, it's been a wild day with the squirrels. I never got touched by one before. He crawled like right at my back. I haven't seen Larry and Fred in a while, but Kevin the fox squirrel, yeah, he's been MIA since about 11 a.m. I'll keep you in the loop on the squirrel situation, but we're back up. There goes Joe. He's got an acorn, he's laughing at me again. That's how it goes. There's Joe doing his thing, just eating like usual. Look at Frank. Frank is practicing his balance beam. Frank, you're being a show off. He doesn't care. He's like, yeah, look at me. I'm on the balance beam. Oh, look at that. Look at that agility. That's what you're dealing with over here. Agile squirrels. Yeah, I know a lot of you are probably saying to yourselves, like, dude, you don't know which squirrel is which. You don't know Larry from Fred or Joe from Frank. But, I mean, maybe you know Kevin because he's the only fox squirrel out there, but there's no way you can tell them apart. You know what? And, my answer to that is like, yeah, you're darn right. I have no clue. But, it is what it is. I'm the one naming them. That's all I gotta say about that. November 8th. It should be a perfect morning today. We got clear skies, dropping temp, about 38 degrees. I just checked right now. Feels like 36, no wind. So yeah, figured I'd videotape now before I get out there because it's going to be cold and I probably want to keep my hands warm. So keep you updated and see how it goes. Well, it's about 8:30 now. Seen about 8 deer so far, maybe 3 buck and then 5 doe. Problem with this stand is it's a good archery, or it's a good rifle stand. But in archery season, you'll see a lot of deer, but a lot of times they'll just stay out to the edge of these plots. And that's what I'm running into now. I mean, you will get some deer like that. Spike ended up coming the whole way through down the line, but a lot of the times they'll stay out to the edges, and it's been kind of frustrating because at this point I'm just, ever since about Wednesday, I've been just trying to shoot a doe, but really haven't had any opportunities, so. That was pretty cool. I saw that buck on the hillside. That's our property, and it was just walking through the grass. I don't know. It looked like a big 6-point or something. And then I looked down, and here comes a little 4-point. Hunting, you're struggling. If you change hats, it works. So I decided to test that out again tonight. And yeah, we'll see, because I think in the morning I ended up seeing 19. All of them were out of range. About 13 were doe. All of them were out of range. And then all the ones that I had in range were 4 points, 5 points, spikes, and bucks. So doe and a fawn come out with a 4-point. And the 4-point started running towards me. So I was like, what the heck's going on? I look as far as I can see. A dang fisher ran out. All black fisher came running out of the bottom, pushed the buck towards me. The doe ran up the hill. And then once the fisher ran away, the buck started working his way towards me, but then got scent of the doe and worked his way up around. And he ended up pushing him back a whole way around. And I shot. They were right there. Somewhere in there where I shot. So I'm gonna get down and see if I can find blood. There she is. Pretty big doe. Looks like I got her a little high behind the shoulder. Man, we had trouble finding blood though. I mean, that was kudos to my dad, the good Lord up above, for helping me find this deer. Because that was tough. It only went 60 yards, but barely any blood. I mean, luckily it went right on this path, or else that would have been tough to find. So here's my 2024 Pennsylvania archery deer. I got her about 5 o'clock, maybe 4:50. She went about 60 yards, maybe 60 to 80 yards. I think we double lunged her. That should be entrance. But yeah, kudos to my dad for helping me find her, and the good Lord up above for letting me harvest this massive doe. This is definitely the biggest doe I've ever shot. Look at the head, it's like a donkey. I mean, this is a big doe, so yep, I'm very happy with this, and now I can go out tomorrow and just hunt for buck. But got meat in the freezer for this year. So that's it for this one. Saturday, November 9th. This is the late afternoon to evening hunt. Did not go out this morning. Ended up taking the doe in. Just because, you know, we didn't feel like going out too late to drop it off. So we just waited till this morning. It got cold enough, dropped it off this morning. And now I'm back out in the woods. It's about noon. Should be a good day. Hoping for an Ohio State victory. Luckily I have service in this stand. I'm in a new stand. And be watching the game. Starts at noon. Big day of college football. But yeah, so this is another stand I have. It's called the bean/corn stand. See how it goes tonight? I sat here on Saturday. I saw 4 bucks and 6 doe. But only 1 doe was in range, and it was a real tiny fawn. So, and all the bucks were chasing does through this bean field. So see how it goes today. Here's the survey. So we start off with a side-by-side path. Got goldenrod fields all behind that. Down into this brushy piece of woods where there's a lot of always some deer bedded. You know, it's thick, a lot of jaggers. It's hard to get into. Opens up right here to the bean field. This year there were beans in it. Last year there was corn. And we got a buck in the field. I can't get him on video. These dang branches. That is it for my 2024 archery season. Not sure what all of this Johnny will use, but it was fun having the camera, and I think we all need to start a petition to hashtag get Andrew the camera arm to film the kill. Let's get that down there and you know, really pressure Johnny to buy me the camera arm. Okay? All right, that's it for me. 2024 Rutcation in the books. Signing off.